Roll call?
Yes. Okay. Commissioner Gott and Commissioner Mills are both absent, so I'm going to start with our Special District Alternate, Victoria Brandon.
Here.
And
Number I am, Suzanne Lyons.
hello, I got you.
I'm here.
Joyce Overton, Commissioner Overton, Commissioner Scott,
Here.
Commissioner Matina,
Here.
Commissioner Roby,
Here.
Commissioner Simon,
Here.
and also we have with us Commissioner Sabatier, and so.
So do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Do we need Commissioner Scott? We have 5.
Oh, we got 5.
We're good? Yeah.
There's
I don't know why I feel like we're missing people.
2 are missing.
2 are missing.
you got 1.
4, 5, 6.
You have 6 out of 7. You're good.
Oh, good.
Plus an alternate or 2 thrown in.
Yeah.
All right, right.
Sorry.
All right, selection of the public member alternate for term ending May 5th, 2021. Review letters of interest from Kathleen Boucher and Suzanne Lyons. John, do you want to talk about this item?
I really don't. The only thing I would like to mention is that an affirmative vote by at least 1 member of each of the 3 categories, county, city, and district, is required. It's not to participate because you're a public member on this one item. And so we need, of course, 4 commissioners to vote in favor of the selection, but there has to be at least 1 from each of the 3 constituencies. And that's the key part of it. If the city members don't want a particular individual, they have the right to veto by saying, we don't like that person, and we don't want that person to be our public member alternate. So that's the one thing that's not understood, because a lot of times you can vote because you really don't like something, but you're going to vote for it anyway. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that was clear, that that's what we have. We have 2 applicants, one that has been with us for a while, and another one that I do not know.
And we have 1 spot, right?
1 spot for the alternate public member.
Okay. So is Kathleen Boucher here?
No.
No. Suzanne Lyons, do you want to say anything?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in here that I left out. I think that, okay, one thing I would like to say is I've been in LAFCo for quite some time. I think I've been in LAFCO longer than I even put in here. I thought it was 2 years as an alternate. I guess it's been 4. But it is a new commission now, and I am kind of excited to work with some new people on the commission. And I do have a lot of background with the commission, and the fact that there are some new people, I think that I have information on history that is really useful. I think Ed's got more than anybody here. I'm running into a second here as far as
longevity.
Yeah, and I do think that the history is important, and also I do think that having been on a lot of different committees, stormwater, I don't think I put in here, class, all these things dovetail. All of these different committees that you sit on and different agencies all kind of dovetail. So I think that there is something to be said for having history, and that's it.
Thank you, Suzanne. Any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I can't vote, but can I ask a question?
I don't know why not.
Well, I just read the letter that Boucher submitted, and she sounds like an intelligent person that's got some positive ideas, but the fact that she hasn't attended a single LAFCo meeting, nor has shown up here for this today kind of leaves me flat. So if I were
Well, you're opinion anyway.
It's not that she wasn't invited, because she was.
Yeah, so.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
So I mean, I agree. I was really hoping that she'd be here because she did look like she had a very decent resume, and I would like to talk to her. You know, since she's not, it's kind of hard to me, put somebody on board that you don't have any to know, and she hasn't showed up for us to even meet her, hasn't been at any meetings. To me, that doesn't show that she's really dedicated, because you think she'd at least be at this one to be nominated. So I kind of agree with that. And Susan has been pretty much involved as long as I can remember in this year, since we've been on city council, in all the different meetings that we've both been involved in. Kind of coincide with a lot of things that LAFCo does. So especially the different things on the water that she's been so involved in. So.
Okay, any other comments?
Just the resume sounded quite interesting. I haven't seen a lot of that for the background. The letter was very strange, beginning with her grandfather.
As about parents.
I agree.
Okay,
Well, my father is a doctor, but I'm not going to do surgery on you.
okay, with that, do we have a nomination?
I'll just nominate Susan Lyons as our public member alternate, term ending in May 5th, 2021.
Okay, all those in favor of Suzanne Lyons? Aye. Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you. Now you can come after One day.
And that was a good choice, because I do not have to change the letterhead.
We're just
Nor
trying to save
training
you
her.
time, John. Okay,
And
approval of the...
Alan Gott also voiced his support. I was going to say that unless I had
Who did?
Alan.
Okay.
Alan Gott. Okay, great. Approval of the minutes for March 15th. Has everyone had a chance to review? There's no questions, we'll take a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. This is time for the public to address the commission on any matter not on the agenda. Looks like we don't have a public today. Consent agenda. Review and authorize payment of expenses for March and April 2017. Any questions on that? No, we'll take a motion.
So moved to approve the consent.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on. Next, we have a public hearing regarding the 2017-18 final LAFCo budget. John?
Okay, I will give you the presentation on the budget. What I did was I wrote a staff report for the final budget. You have the resolution and the numbers with you. A lot of the more detail was provided in the proposed budget, which was last month. A few items came up at the proposed budget hearing. And the first one that I mentioned in the first page of the staff report, three items actually. And the first one is this reserve fund remains low at $40,000, and that's what we decided to put in this budget. The commission, however, would like to, that there was some discussion about it being moved up to $100,000. If LAFCo were to increase this to $50,000, that would mean the reserve fund, or the amount from to be contributed from the cities and the counties would be increased and I'm looking at some wrong budget here, so I'll look at the one that I'm supposed to be looking at. I was thinking 78,000, wait a minute, this is not Lake LAFCo. It would be 124,800. And so we would raise the apportionment for this year. And so if you want to do that, or if you don't. Or another option would be, is it looks like my carryover is going to be, I'm conservative when estimating it because I don't want to fall short. He's laughing at me. And so probably what I would suggest, because I estimated a carryover of I think it was 60,000, and that we're going to have a carryover. We're going to have a bigger carryover than that. So what we could do is take like half of that carryover, or all of it, and apply it to the reserve, and that would augment the reserve. But I won't have a number for you until probably September, when everybody reconciles it and I get a final audited amount. And so that could go into the reserve without raising the amount that the cities and the county and the districts contribute. So that's probably a more prudent way of doing it, rather than carrying this large group of bunch of money up here, just applying it to the reserve.
Yeah, because the county's in no position to be able to raise it.
Right, I'm starting to think this through, that I don't think you have to. That I don't, but I just think it's an option out there. The county's never in a position to do that.
Well, I know, but now after the fires, it's even worse.
Pardon me?
They're cutting everybody.
Oh, because of the PERS unfunded liability?
Fires.
Oh, the fires,
The loss.
reduced taxes, that's right, because Jim brought up last year.
I know it's 2 years out, but it'll be a 7-year recovery process
I
post
know.
to the valley and
So-
the Rocky Nutrition.
So anyway, what I'll do is I can we can take some of the money from the reserve and just put it in there to bump that up as needed. And look here, I'm going to just check one other figure here. As of course, when I'm doing this and it's backwards. Yeah, oh yeah, we'll be able to make that easy. So we will not change that then. But we will augment the reserve without requesting any more money from the county, the city, and the district. The next item is council discussed a meeting stipend, which was amended in 2015 at the last meeting. And in reviewing, what I found was the litigation, the standard litigation rate for an in-house counsel, very similar to Scott, is $225. That's an ongoing rate rather than the $175 that was established 10 years ago. And this will not have any effect on the budget, but it will have an impact, because most of it, if you're getting into litigation, it's usually over a project. We require indemnity agreements. And so what I would say is that by raising the contract amount to $225, really it doesn't have any budgetary effect. Because we are very diligent about receiving that agreement to pay. I won't take an application without it. And that's our indemnification form.
Is that something we can do today, or would that be a separate item that we take up at another meeting?
We'd probably have to put it on the agenda, but I just want to get a feeling for the commission if that's what you'd like to do, is amend that part of his contract to reflect that litigation amount. I highly would recommend it, because if we went out for counsel at Best and Krieger, something, it would be about $300. I know it will be.
That's their discounted rate.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, I mean, I really wanted to hire them, but they were too expensive.
everyone in agreement to have that brought back?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so that one will be brought back at the next regular meeting. And then we had a discussion about my stipend, and I didn't want any, I said I didn't want any pay raises. And I said, well, okay, I get $4,040.67 a month for general services for LAFCo. I don't see that's deficient in any way. And so, anyway, what I did look though, however, was my rate for MSRs was $82.50, and that was set about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think in 2007. It was set, so I decided, well, I'll do a survey, and part of these numbers I already had because of a dispute that we have with another government agency over contract amounts, and so I did a list on page 2 of the budget of what everybody gets. And what I did was I looked at contract LAFCos, and this is for MSR special services. Some of these are actually for day-to-day services. The one that came off the page wasn't mentioned because it was $2.50 an hour. And I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, come on. You're hiring somebody for $2.50 an hour to do MSR? And $250 an hour. And so that came off the page, and I deleted that. And so I wanted to know what similar LAFCos charge. Merced, Humboldt, Del Norte, Shasta, San Benito, for example. Mendocino and Amador were the ones. Glen is the low one. Usually I throw the low and the high out. San Benito. San Benito was one that came off the page too. Very high for what it is. So the average was 104.50. Came out to be. And so anyway, if you want to consider augmenting the 8250 with something, again, it doesn't have any effect upon the budget. We've got money already set aside for MSRs, and during the executive officer's report, I'll give you an update of that. So anyway, that was the results of my survey and taking a look at contracts from various other LAFCos.
So is that something we can bring back as well? Or?
You can. I don't expect any action today.
Everyone like to see that back?
Well, give me an idea of what kind of rate, the 250 rate, is that acceptable, or the 104.50, or maybe 95 or something? Or,
I'd like to go in the middle with the 90,
90 is pretty low.
90, 95.
About 100.
Yeah, I'd go for it.
John, how many hours do you usually put in on the MSR?
on the MSRs, well, it just depends on the MSR, and then it depends on the cooperation that I get. That's a big factor. And also, I might add, one reason I'm saying that it isn't going to have that much of a budgetary impact is I'm working on a deal. We got an approved grant from the state that's going to bring in $20,000 through Cal State University, actually about $10,000 of it's earmarked for MSR preparation that Lake LAFCo is going to get.
Yay!
So we're going to get that. I've been working with the state, and I'll talk to you about that during the executive officer's report. There's also, we're on Hidden Valley Lake, there's another, I think it was a total 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 of a contribution for the preparation of the Hidden Valley Lake MSR. And so that's moving forward. So my hammer is that we have to grant an entitlement to Ken Porter. Ken Porter, we're working on an MSR that includes his property. I wanted to pay for part of that.
Well, John, I think that one of the things too, for the people who are on LAFCO to understand is getting your agencies that you deal with to cooperate with LAFCO and an MSR and give you information is really important because you're paying for it. So when we have agencies who aren't forthcoming, or who don't get, who send you something and you can't use it and you have to go back, that's not just on them, that's on all of us.
Right, and I do want to talk to the county members about some of the county, getting some information from the county offices. I understand they're busy, I understand there's setbacks. If have to, I'll hire Mark Dellinger to do it, because I need to get the information, and that won't require a lot of time on a few things. So, anyway, that's where I'm seeing, anyway, so there's other money coming in that I'm not even budgeting for, because it doesn't become real money until we get it. So, but we did get an approval for that grant, which is, provides a lot of money for us.
Good. So do you need to know more than that we want to see it back? We want to know the amount?
Okay, and is the rate that we want it to be 100? I mean, that's fine with me.
Is everyone good with 100 or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do that for the MSR. Okay. And, okay, that's it. So the rest of the budget is per what we talked about last time. Commission stipends, supplies, memberships to LAFCo is increasing, memberships, attorneys' contracts remain the same. Staff services, the clerk analyst support is indicated. No change in executive officer services, legal notices. We're lucky with our legal notices. The record deed at Clearlake is relatively cheap from what I'm seeing. Just try to deal with the appeal Democrat in Sutter County will go nuts. I mean, a public hearing notice for a budget is like $300.
Really?
For just a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
In fact, which is interesting, there's an alternative newspaper in Sutter and Yuba County, and guy brings it up, supervisor brings it up at Yuba County that, well, I think the territorial dispatch is adjudicated. It's not in Sutter County, but it is in Yuba County. So Yuba County, Paige, my assistant, is going to be, we're going to be using the territorial dispatch, because it's half the price.
Yeah.
So anyway, transportation and travel. This is one thing I want you to think about this year. Since the conference, LAFCo annual conference is in San Diego, it's much easier to get to than Santa Barbara, much less of a hassle. And so a few of you, I'd like, we do have some budget for 3 or 4 late LAFCo representatives. From here, would just be carpooling down to Sacramento and catching a flight down to San Diego on the conference registration. And I know a few of you haven't gone in a while. And so I'd like to throw that out. The decision doesn't need to be made today. So we could probably make that decision at the July meeting. We'll need to do that, about who is wanting to attend LAFCo annual conference. For those of you that are new, there will be a steep learning curve. So I would recommend that we get some new people and a couple people with experience in LAFCo also. And so we have funds for that. Insurance, we have our insurance through the county, and I've worked a deal with them, and they haven't changed it yet, so I've not been notified. Records retention and mapping is continuing process. I've been doing both of us have been, Kathy and I have been both making progress on this. And so getting to the point where our files are electronic. Thanks to Clearlake, they're stored here. And so that's kind of ongoing. Next year, this budget category is going to be reduced because we will be definitely completed. Website maintenance, I only put $150 in there. It used to be over $1,000, and we reduced that to just the amount of the site license, or not site license. It's a URL fee, whatever they call it.
Domain registration.
Domain registration. Yeah, and So I put in $150 that covers that and the enhanced memory that's needed for some of the larger reports. Auditor agreement, years ago we made a deal with Pam Cochran, former auditor, $2,500 a year. I've had no reason to balk about that. Kathy Saterlin had rumbled a few years ago about raising that, but I've not heard anything. So I'm keeping it quiet. If she says I'm raising it, we're going to say, oh, we already did the budget this year. How about raising it next year? That's just something that's said. But, there is a cost because we do have a payroll function and also just checks in addition. Spear updates, I have the amounts listed in here that have changed. The contingency fund, I just left that the same. In the reserves, we have 40,000, but that could change as we have our carryover, and I want to put more into that. And so the recommendation is that the budget is 184,800. That's including everything. Or it's 134,800 actually, plus a 10,000 reserve, plus a $40,000 reserve, $10,000 contingency, plus a $40,000 reserve, making it 184,800. And there's some carryover and some anticipated revenue from the projects, which I expect next year, coming to 114,800 to be allocated to the districts, counties, and cities.
Okay.
That's it.
Any questions before we open the public hearing?
I have one.
Yes, Mr. Roby?
Do you see any projects on the horizon that might cause LAFCo to have extra hearings, extra staff time, extra?
I'm having a little trouble hearing. I'm not sure if the audience is, but if people could speak a little louder, it would be good.
Try to project.
Yes, please.
I just want to know if John sees any new projects coming along that might cause us extra work. And in particular, I'm wondering about the Lake Port, South Lake Port.
The what?
Say,
Annexation.
South Lake Port.
Okay.
Possible annexation of South Main Street. Anything cooking on that?
Not that I heard of at this point. There's something going to be cooking.
I expect it to be moving forward.
It's the city and the county are talking about dollars at this point. We haven't received an application. We have budgeted for the 5280 or the commission stipends. We budgeted for an extra meeting or two.
The Department of Water Resources made it clear that they want to see something changed. So we've been meeting and we expect to see an application soon.
Okay. Well, and if that happens, it happens. With an application, we require an indemnity and agreement to pay. So if it costs more time and money in a special meeting,
That's all I wanted to know was whether
the applicant, whoever that is. We also have that thing up in Cobb. That could end up being going into this year and into next year too, because we are talking about 2 service districts, 3 CSAs, and 3 private water companies, or
consolidated
mutual water companies. Yeah, so that's kind of a big project, and I mentioned that's being paid for. And then that Hidden Valley Lake annexation, again, that's all fee supported. So, and with the MSR, that they're going to contribute their share. And I know that they're moving forward. They've done it in IR already, commented on it in the past. Actually commented on it over the years. So, anyway, have that coming down. There's probably some small things that I'm not aware of yet.
Do you anticipate any LAFCO involvement in this new big project out of Gwinnett?
Yes, because they're going to need
I
public
mean,
water,
they're going
public
to need
sewer.
public services.
They're going to need it. Well, they're in Lakewood Sand, so we don't have a role in that. But it's not in LAFCo Spear, which is something I'll need to talk to Scott about. But they are going to need public water, and that's going to require. I doubt they're going to have set up a utility. They won't do that. I doubt they're going to have a mutual. They'll need to set up some sort of service district if it's that big.
They've got water.
They've got plenty of water out there in that valley.
Yeah, or set up if they're going to do a county service area. I'm not sure what.
And it's a single private property too.
Yeah, and so I don't know at this point. I guess the project needs to get defined a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a little early.
No idea what it is.
Any other questions before we go up from here? Kathy, will you let the record show that Jeff Smith has joined us?
Yes.
And go ahead and open up the public hearing regarding the LAFCO budget. You guys didn't bring any friends out there? All right, and we'll close the public hearing. Bring it back for final comments or motion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the resolution number 2017-005 of the Lake LAFCO Agency Formation Commission and read it by title only. A resolution of the Lake Local Agency Formation Commission of adopting its final budget for 2017-2018.
We have a motion. And a second. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Did Commissioner Scott second?
Yes.
Okay. And I just have one question. So these numbers in here, the total budget amounts that are in this resolution, are these different?
No, they're correct.
Okay.
No changes.
There's no change. Okay. Commissioner Brandon?
Aye.
Commissioner Lyons?
That's
I'm sorry.
okay.
Commissioner Overton?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Bettina?
Aye.
Roby?
Aye.
And Simon?
Aye.
All right. Got it. Review LAFCO staff workshop and president.
Scott, that's your item.
Yes.
I did not attend.
It was a very good workshop in lovely Fresno, which shows the degree of dedication of your staff.
I might add, I was in San Diego.
Yes. I presented 2 sessions there, one on LAFCO in CEQA, California Environmental Quality Act, and then another one on legal potholes that staff need to avoid, and that was a fun one. We got staff, we had 3 different people each give, all staff, each give staff a problem. This is taken from an actual problem I have in another county that I represent, and mine was primarily with regard to extensions of service outside of an agency boundaries. And so I had written up this problem dealing with the city of Quesadilla in the county of San Cilantro. And problems between them and the Cerveza Irrigation District and the Corona Sewer District.
Sounds delicious.
So we had a lot of fun with that problem and really got some very good feedback, and hopefully they learned and thought more deeply on the problems that can come up with extensions of service. The main problem there is that they have a city with a urban limit line, which requires a vote of the people to go beyond, and you have development wanting to occur right outside the boundaries that needs sewer and water for the city. And can the city extend services to that development outside the city, since it can't, they don't want to go to the voters who actually annex them.
And because of that limit, it wouldn't be in this area.
Exactly. And so the county very much wants this development to occur, so there's all sorts sorts of jumping around, trying to figure out how to accommodate this development, notwithstanding the fact that it's one of the few areas where LAFCo really has to say no when it's outside the sphere and it's for new development. The only time you can provide services outside the sphere is for imminent threat to public health and safety. You know, the septic system is failing or your water system is failing. That justifies providing services outside the sphere of an agency, but not for new development. And so that was an interesting problem to present them, and the creative solutions that the county proposed. One was exchanging untreated water from the irrigation district to the city and claiming that the water that the city was giving the development was actually the district's water, not the city's treated water. And whether that was water.
Untreated water is
No, I can't tell
We
you.
are not going to debate that here.
No, but I was just to give you sort of an idea of the connection. So, and there was, they had a discussion, unfortunately I couldn't attend it, on the new, legalization of marijuana and its effect on local government, which I'm sure all of you are interested in. And so I don't know whether LAFCo will have much of involvement in that kind of process.
That was put on that agenda since a lot of the LAFCos were interested in what was going on with this, because it's a big deal in all these towns. And that's why that was on the agenda. It really didn't have much to do with LAFCO, at least directly.
But and so it was a very good meeting, and I think we all learned a lot.
Also, Michelle Frederick from the State Water Resources Control Board, I got her in contact with I guess it's David Rudderman, who was on the project committee, and they had a presentation on the state requiring annexations or dissolutions or mergers of chronically failing water systems. And so I already knew a lot of that because of my meetings with Michelle. So anyway, that was to enlighten the rest of the LAFCo family that this issue is coming down and that the state will be mandating these consolidations. And we're lucky on ours because we're getting some money. So a lot of times, because it was grant money available. So that's really not my 2 cents worth on that.
Okay. Next, we have a discussion regarding the letter mailed to Assemblyperson Gallagher regarding AB 464. Do we have an update?
Yeah, this came up an urging from LAFCO's staff and the super urging from Scott Brown here about sending a letter. We needed to send a letter to the Assembly Local Government Committee and several others regarding this this bill 464. And this is the one dealing with the Patterson case we talked about several times. And so you have a copy of it here. What we need is bipartisan support. So you want to take it from here?
Sure. Thanks to a member of our commission, there Assemblywoman Aguiar Curry was aware of it, and she's the chair of the local government committee. But she said that, well, until it passed out of her committee, she couldn't sign on as a sponsor of the bill because she was the chair. Well, it went through on the consent agenda in her committee, and it also was on the went through the assembly on the consent agenda. So it's going well, but it would still be desirable to have a Democrat as a sponsor of the bill, and she has not yet signed on. So I may come to you, Victoria, and ask you to give her a call and remind her, because it really is important that we show that it has bipartisan support.
Right.
And And I think it's just, she probably thought, well, it's sailing along fine, I don't need to do anything. But we don't know what will happen in the Senate. And it is important that this goes through. So I may follow up after the meeting with you. But it's moving forward.
Right. Executive officers report, Adams Springs and Top Service Review and Sphere of Influence.
Yes, that's the one that I mentioned the consolidation of 2 service districts, 3 CSAs, 3 mutuals. And we're supposed to have a kickoff meeting. It was supposed to be Monday afternoon. Well, it got canceled at the last minute. But it's going to be in the very near future, in the next week. And the kickoff meeting is because now everybody's got their money. We got that grant. And so there's lots of pieces to come together. Of course, my piece is the LAFCo piece. And Jan Coppinger from the Special District, she has a role in that. We're making sure that she's involved in this. And of course, Sherry Miller and Michelle Frederick from the Water Resources Control Board, they're involved. CSU Sacramento's involved, their attorney is from UC Davis. So we've got quite an eclectic group here. And so we're moving ahead on that. My first task is to work on the service review for that area. Hidden Valley Lake Service Review and Sphere. I had a draft, went through it, had a fantastic editor over there, and she helped me with that a little bit. And it's now at the district for their initial review, so that Kirk Floyd is the manager who is reviewing it, and I assume he'll take it to the board of directors. After I get his comments on it. It does include the area of the Ken Porter subdivision. I can't remember. Valley Oaks, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Valley Oaks. So that's happening. Edmonds Reclamation District, this is our Reclamation District 2070. I'll record the dissolution notice today in Lakeport. The Pishon annexation for the Caleomi District, the same thing, I'll record that over in Lakeport. We got a new one called the Hughes annexation to the, I call it Hughes, I think it's Hodges actually. The annexation to the Finley Water District. It's a small 10-acre parcel. And so we're working through on that one. That just started. And then Spring Valley Distribution Act annexation, that one I filed with the State Board of Equalization. So hopefully it'll go through that and be totally completed after that. And so those are the key projects. I haven't added Lakeport on there because nobody's contacted me yet. So I know that'll probably be at the top. But anyway, so there.
Any questions? All right, LAFCo Council's report. Scott?
I have nothing other than talking about those 2 items.
Commissioner reports? Any commissioners want to discuss items of issue of concern in their area?
I have one question, and I don't even remember if this is for us. Did we write a letter to the Stormwater Commission a year or 2 ago? Remember they weren't meeting, was that, I think that was, LAFCo wrote a letter saying you're not fulfilling your...
Well, we wrote a letter to the Board of Supervisors
Right.
about fulfilling the MSR criteria. No, there's been no response.
Oh, okay, I was just wondering if anybody knew if it was meeting, if it's still something that should...
What is the name of it again? I'm sorry.
Is the Stormwater Commission?
Stormwater Commission?
Yeah, it's part of the,
Commission,
it's part of the, yeah, I know, I'm not.
I don't know
saying,
all the commissions.
But it's 4 different entities, and the reason I'm asking is because for the stormwater permit, it's a requirement, and I know that it's supposed to update every 5 years or something, and I know I was on it one year when it didn't happen, and they were 4.5 years into not doing it, and it is part of the stormwater permit, so I just didn't know if we'd ever heard anything back, or if anybody on any of the any of the agencies knew if it was ever moving. Rob Brown was the last chair of it.
Yeah, I went to that, and I haven't been called for a meeting for a very long time.
It's been-
A
yeah.
very long time.
Maybe it's been taken into the watershed management.
I don't know, that's what you,
Maybe the county members can check on
Yeah,
that.
I'll check it.
well, because the city's supposed to meet too, it's the
Yeah.
city special districts and city special districts in the county. But it was really kind of horrible to try to put together a 5-year plan, and it was awful. So, yeah, we had to like try to backtrack and say, this is what we've done, and
I tried to get that approved.
Yeah,
Rob Brown
it
and
was-
I actually went down to the state and met
it
with
wasn't
them.
nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
we met with them to let them know we were working on it, because it was a really, we do need to stay on top of that.
Yeah,
Because that was a mess for us to make sure we didn't get fined,
yeah,
because we all would have gotten fined.
yeah.
But the reason why we didn't is because they were impressed that the county and the city showed up. Showed up and asked for a meeting with them, and they were like, well, if you guys are working together, that was a big thing for them.
Yeah.
So it was worth it, but yeah, we do need to stay on top of that. And
I don't
it's
think
been
that
a
we-
long time, I haven't been contacted on that for a long time, so yeah.
Okay. Anything else from the commission? Any correspondence?
I've done the report.
Well, is this a record?
Think so?
The record. Where did you guys say 20 minutes when we started?
It's 2 o'clock, that's definitely not.
Yeah, still on the record after these guys started before the record.
All right, well, our next meeting is July 19th in Lakeport, and we will see you then. Meeting adjourned.
Nice call.
Yes. That's good.